What's up, guys? Welcome back to the Video Creator Podcast, where we talk about everything YouTube and making money online with online video. You know, there's really no better way to market your business than with YouTube, but what if you have like a local brick and mortar type business? How can you leverage the power of YouTube and all the different people that are on YouTube watching videos every day to grow your business? Well, today we're going to be sharing all of our strategies so that you too can harness the power of YouTube to grow your business. All right, welcome to today's episode, everybody. Augie Johnston here with my co-host Grant Ball. We're going to be talking about YouTube today, obviously, but more specifically, and I'm excited about this topic, is we're going to be talking about local businesses, right? So everyone here lives somewhere, and in your town, there's some businesses, whether it's a shoe store or a restaurant or a plumber, a service, something like that. And if they come to you and they say, hey, Grant, I want to start a YouTube channel. What should I do? What would be like some of the very first starting things that you would recommend that they do?
Well, the first thing is being able to turn whatever it is they do into cool videos that have the potential to, if not go viral, at the very least explain a process that they do. So for instance, a client I have, they install garage floors. So, you know, you got a cracked, gross garage floor. They come in, they sand it all down, they replace it with a nice, beautiful, shiny floor. And I make videos for them where it's like a time lapse. It explains the process, what they do, and it really drives home what they do. And these videos can be referenced by people who want to potentially have them hire them, and it's useful. And sometimes, depending on how catchy or short the video is, they can take off on like Facebook and get some actual traction. So yeah, if you can turn whatever your business is into catchy videos, or even like a longer kind of explanatory video about what it is you do and what you offer, that's usually the best way, and that's kind of step one.
Yeah, that makes sense. And the type of content you just kind of mentioned, like you said, cleaning garage floors or fixing them up nice or whatever. Like, to me, initially, I think that's great short form content for TikTok. Me personally, when I hear that, because those do go viral. It's something about like satisfying video content. Like, I saw a guy that just cuts grass, and it's kind of satisfying to see like some overgrown area and throw a time lapse on him mowing it and then edging it up, and that people like. It's the same thing as like the pimple popper content. It's like it's satisfying to watch. So for YouTube, like, how long are those kind of videos that they post on YouTube? Because to me that seems a little bit challenging. I could definitely see some how-to videos, right? Like how to fix up your garage floor, how to add baseboards in your garage, all this kind of stuff. But I guess, like, how long are those videos?
So they don't. Ironically, they actually don't have any YouTube videos yet. They've posted
Gotcha.
to Facebook, but generally the videos are pretty short. Like, a minute less, maybe a couple minutes. They tend to be on the shorter side for sure. Especially, like, it's not that complicated. They'll make your garage floor really nice and shiny, and you can essentially use the garage as an extra room, which is cool.
Oh, gotcha.
And it's pretty straightforward. It can just be interesting to like have a time lapse and put some music over it and kind of have them talking about what's going on and what exactly they offer. Like, it's it's not going to be a feature length documentary or anything.
Yeah. So, okay. My guess was kind of right. Short form content there is kind of where it's at. And so, okay, step one, you guys, is to figure out what kind of content are you going to create, right? Because let's just say you're a restaurant, right? There's a lot of different ways you could go with the type of content you create, right? You could do more documentary style content where it's just like day in the life of a waiter here, kind of like vlog style, the trials and tribulations of the business, a good day, a bad day, a broken plate here or there. So there's the documentary kind of style. There's also like the tutorial kind of style, right? These restaurants could create, how to cook this certain meal, and just use their kitchen as a way to to grow on YouTube by doing, recipes and how-to videos. What are some other ideas maybe for, let's just take a restaurant, for instance. You got the how-to recipes, you got the documentary type content. Is there anything else you could think of?
So if it was a fancy-ish restaurant or one that relies on atmosphere, you could have a video featuring the atmosphere, some cool shots of like a mural on the wall. If there's music playing, you can kind of have that music playing in the video. If you have like a band that's often there, you could have cool shots of like a band playing. It really depends on the venue. You can show off the location, the ambiance, and get people excited about being there. You essentially want to recreate the feeling of being in the restaurant, maybe hype it up a little bit, and just have lots of cool shots, some artistic shots of, show a bartender making a drink or a cook making some signature dish, and really just featuring whatever it is you do, again, with, I think, short form ideally. So you would want to split things into very specific categories. So like, as you said, like here's an amazing dish and how our cook makes it. And you could have a 1-minute video about that. And then the ambiance video could be essentially the same length, same idea.
Nice. Yeah, I like that. I have always had this idea of a business, a reality show in a box. So, I mean, so many different businesses and people and celebrities and stuff, I feel like could really benefit from saying, all right, here's $100,000, right? It's a high ticket thing. And you're going to create a reality show about me. And it's going to be about our restaurant. It's going to be about the drama with the waiters. You have a producer, you have 2 videographers, and that's it. That's your crew right there. And they come in with the DSLRs. They say, hey, we're going to film Saturday night. It's a big night. There's a UFC fight. And they're just going around documenting the waiters and what's going on and all the drama that goes on. And I don't know. I think that could be a pretty cool YouTube channel. Maybe an expensive one, but a cool one, I think, for a restaurant. Especially because I feel like with restaurants, right, there's always like, the hot waitress who's sleeping with the cook, but really is dating the owner. Like there's always like these little drama things. So, yeah, I think there's a lot of different ways you could do it for a restaurant. I think that's probably one of the easier ones to do because there is like so much interaction and stuff. Now let's talk a little bit about monetizing. We'll dive into some different businesses and stuff here, but first, just so we're clear, let's talk a little bit about like a shoe store. Okay, we're talking about selling Nikes, basketball shoes, maybe stuff like that. How could a company like that make money by creating online videos? We don't have to specifically say YouTube because we know it could be Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, wherever. But how could they actually monetize that?
I mean, with that, you would probably want to feature the shoes themselves and just kind of make some artistic video getting people excited about shoe brands. And then that would kind of generate excitement about whatever it is you're selling. And then you could point them to the store. Every example that we've talked about previously to this, there was something very unique that was being offered, whether it's garage floors or a restaurant with signature dishes and cool ambiance. I feel like with a shoe store, you're probably selling the same things as other shoe stores, at least with the brands that you named. I guess if it was really bespoke stuff or custom, really interesting boots, like Doc Martens or something, you could just have a lot of artistic shots of cool people wearing boots and like how it feels to wear Doc Martens. And you got some cool sunset shots of a cool goth person wearing dope boots and going to a concert, and it's in a kind of industrial part of town. I mean, that's what jumps out to me. I think the key here is always to find something unique about your business and then really put the spotlight on that and to really highlight that. What else? What can you think of here?
Yeah, well, specifically when it comes to shoes, I'm thinking reviews. I'm thinking shoe reviews all the way. And I'm thinking, and I'm thinking that can actually work for a lot of these businesses. A restaurant, right? Can you get customers to review the food for you? Almost create these little testimonials. Now, none of this is really, I think all the stuff you talked about and most of the stuff I've talked about too, I don't know if it would create a great YouTube channel, right? Like just getting shots of the food and the ambiance and, all these different things like that's short form content for, I feel like for other platforms. The hard thing is to create that content for YouTube that's going to be, semi evergreen that can live on your channel and that fulfills everything the algorithm wants with a long enough video where it's at least 5 to 10 minutes long, and then something that's going to keep the viewer watching. So my answer is reviews. I think reviews for all these businesses could be very good, especially the shoe one. You put up your review of the new Nikes that just came out, and then you link to your store, your online store, and I guess that's a good point we need to bring up in the description. In the video, you have a call to action at the end that says, hey, click the link in the description if you actually want to buy these. We have a 10% discount going on right now. So yeah, that, all these businesses should have an online store, right? They should have a website. So just because you are a brick and mortar local business doesn't mean that you shouldn't have a website, and not only a website, but one that people can purchase from. Because there might be somebody that loves your store. They live 20 minutes away, which is not that far. But if they live 20 minutes away, my guess is they would appreciate shopping online every now and then and buying something online. And then, with your YouTube channel growing and all that, you can go from being just a local business that sells 500 pairs of shoes a year to an online business that sells 10, 20, 30,000 pairs a year, because now your market is the whole United States or the whole world. And that's where your online videos can start driving actual sales for you.
Hey there. You probably know the Video Creator Show is brought to you by VidChops.com. What is VidChops.com? Well, it is an editing service that will take the horrible burden of editing off your back. We all know video editing. It's tedious. It takes forever. But what if you had a professional who did it for you? You go to sleep, you wake up, it's done. Wouldn't that be magical? VidChops.com. Hire a professional, save yourself time and energy, and take your YouTube channel to the next level.
And any other thoughts on the shoe business or anything else I just mentioned there?
Yeah, I mean, I did want to just drive home the point that you mentioned. It is important to have an online presence. Your brick and mortar store it can rely on foot traffic, which is nice. It's, the most tried and true method of marketing, right? You just kind of are there where people happen to be, and then they walk into your store, they can check it out, they can browse. It's a fun experience for them. And then the online store is kind of that's how you upscale things. I feel like that's the easiest way to scale without having a massive amount of expense to it.
Yeah. And even if people are not going onto your website and buying, or maybe let's just say you don't have a website and you're wondering, well, Augie, how am I going to use online video if I don't have a website? Or what's the value of creating videos for my business? A lot of it is like nurturing, right? It's like telling your story. It's getting people to fall in love with your brand. I mean, if I have a local shoe store and someone comes in, I'll be like, hey, you should follow us on Instagram, or subscribe to our YouTube channel. Maybe they don't buy anything that day. Maybe I get the follow. And there's different tactics. Maybe you can offer a little discount if they follow you or something like that. But then you're showing up in their newsfeed. As long as you're producing content, right? You can stay top of mind, and you can get this free marketing that you can create just with your phone, where you're saying, hey, I'm going to review. Oh, look, we just got the new Jordans. They're in now. They just came out yesterday. We got them in store. Check them out. Oh, we got this one color wave. And then boom, that kid that never bought from you, a week, a couple days later shows up to your store. Hey, I saw you had the new Jordans, and buys a pair. And, it's not an online sale necessarily, but it, you were able to nurture that lead and basically build a lead, right? A lead for your business through your social media that is now gone from a cold prospect to a warm prospect to a hot prospect when he comes in and actually buys. So even without the store, I think there's value, but you're not really fully extracting all the value of your online videos if you're creating a lot of content until you have the link to your website that people can click, go over there and purchase directly from your website. the next one we can kind of talk about is a gym. Now, I think there's a lot of creativity that we can do with a gym here as far as creating online content. But let's say some gym just knocks on your door today and they say, hey, I would love if you would help us create videos for social media. Where do we start?
So one thing I can think of is you could highlight your personal trainers. Most gyms have a bunch of personal trainers with varying personalities. They're probably all in good shape. You can kind of introduce them and show what they're all about and kind of give a general vibe of each of the people and get artistic and fun about it. I think when you add the personal aspect to things, that always is helpful. What's going to differentiate your gym? It's the people in it. Gyms, they can differentiate themselves with maybe some cool workout equipment. Maybe you got some of those cool heavy ropes that people do those fancy workouts with, that can bring in a certain demographic. But ultimately, I think it's the people, right? It's their knowledge, it's their vibe, it's the experience of being with those trainers. That's one thing I can think of to make a bunch of cool videos of.
Yeah, and not only featuring those trainers. I mean, you could do little background stories and stuff, but I would say if I was the owner of a gym, I would be like, all right, new task. You guys have to create a how-to video once a week, like with a new workout or something, right? And now you have this, like a typical fitness YouTube channel is one where you go to the channel and every video is like a new workout, right? And you put that workout on your TV. Maybe it's a home workout and you do it, or it's a new exercise. I'm thinking of channels like I think the biggest one is Athlean X. You ever heard of Athlean X?
No, I haven't. Athlean X.
Yeah, Jeff Cavalier. He's been doing it forever, and his channel's huge. His business is huge. He's done a very good job. He's probably in the 2,000 to 3,000 video at this point range. He's got a lot of videos. But yeah, I mean, he's just giving out new exercises, mistakes that people are making, and you could easily do that with if you had your own gym, whether you're the gym owner and you're the face on the camera, or you outsource it to your trainers and you maybe pay them a little extra, or give them Instagram shout outs or whatever they want. You could definitely pull off the how-to tutorials there. I think there's also opportunity for the reality show or vlog show type content, or the behind the scenes of the business type content, like, hey, we just had a record month and I think that's interesting, or hey, we have this new strategy to acquire clients, or hey, we're sponsoring this event. Just kind of behind the scenes there. And then in all my videos, I would have a link. Now here's the tricky part, I guess. In all my videos, I would want to have a link, right? Link to sign up for your free or for maybe a free pass, or to sign up directly for a membership. But if your content's on YouTube and you grow this, let's say 1 million subscriber YouTube channel, how are you going to monetize that past, sign up for our gym? Because, your subscribers are living across the world. Is there any other monetization strategies you can think of if all of a sudden you did have a successful YouTube channel as a local business?
Yeah, at that point, I would just run the YouTube channel like a YouTube channel. You could get sponsors, any Athletic Greens. They sponsor all kinds of podcasts and channels. Just like, check out Athletic Greens and use our code to get 15% off. I would just run it like a YouTube channel. And then obviously you could have links in the descriptions and just constantly pitch, hey, by the way, we're a real brick and mortar gym. You should come if you're in the area, if you live here. But yeah, in this case, I wouldn't really overthink it. If you get this best case scenario of a 1 million subscriber channel, I think it just makes sense to lean into the online aspect. You could sell merchandise like workout clothing, kind of create your own line of clothes, maybe even sponsor your own gym. Like I already mentioned pitching the gym, of course, but you could even give discounts to subscribers, or just if they come in and they say the right word or they have the right code or whatever, they could get a discount for, like maybe your first month is free, or your first 2 months are free, or whatever. Maybe you get some free workout classes or some free personal training, or just kind of incentivize people who are watching online to actually come in and not just consume the entertainment, but to actually come in and start changing their lifestyle to get healthy, exercise, all that cool stuff.
Yeah, those are all great ideas. One idea that just popped into my head is, I mean, you'd have to get big enough to where this would make sense. We're talking, yeah, 1 million+ subscribers, but what about franchising, right? You have this huge following. You look at your analytics and you say, wow, look, I have, 10,000 subscribers or viewers in, Ohio, in some city in Ohio or around there, maybe you start running ads in that area and see if somebody wants to, buy a franchise, open up your gym in their town, with the whole franchise fees and everything attached. And then, they have access to your YouTube audience, and you can market it through your channel or through any online assets that you've developed over the years. And yeah, if you get a big enough YouTube channel, you could franchise out. You could open up multiple locations, and make money that way. But really the ultimate way, and it hasn't been mentioned yet, is online fitness training programs, right? If you are growing there's probably going to come a point, if you do grow 1 million subscriber fitness channel, to where you can make way more money doing online fitness training programs than you could with a brick and mortar business when it comes to profitability and all that kind of stuff, because you don't need to there's no building that you need to rent every month. There's not really any staff. You're not paying trainers, per hour. It's just you pay them once to create the program. It's all digital. People watch your video, they click the link, they go to the program, they enter their credit card. The next page gives them access to the thing. The money goes in your bank, and that's it. It's really hands off. So yeah, I think that'd be a great way too.
Mm-hmm. Yep, makes sense to me.
All right. So we're talked about a gym, right? Creating an online store. Basically, we're saying if you are a brick and mortar local business and you want to leverage the power of online video, that you probably should have an online store where you're selling products too. Even if you don't have online videos, you probably should have an online store, because it's low hanging fruit. It's a way for people to be at home and purchase. But let's talk a little bit about maybe some other type of businesses where an online store isn't going to help you. I'm thinking more of like services, right? If you're like a one-man show and you have I don't know, let's just go with a lawn care business, and that's actually you out there, swinging the lawnmower around, and maybe a buddy of yours, or maybe you have some employees, whatever. How could you leverage online video to grow that kind of business? Is there any ideas there? This is a tricky one, and I have a couple ideas, but go ahead.
Yeah, sure. So one idea, there's a channel he posts to YouTube Shorts, and I think he has a TikTok. The name escapes me right now, but this guy has essentially a construction business, kind of they fix various things in your house, whether it's like septic systems or replacing drywall, whatever it is, they can fix it. And this guy is the owner of the business, and he'll often just like film himself talking, and he'll tell interesting stories about things that have happened on the job, a crazy client, or an interesting employee, or he'll talk about like what he looks for in an interview, so anybody who is trying to get a job in construction or in septic maintenance or whatever, he'll give advice. And it's kind of everything within his niche. He just kind of shares information, whether it's stories or helpful advice on how to get a job. It's all very interesting, and it's pretty much just him talking. I do remember one video where it was pretty gross, actually. He was like, here's a septic system, and he was like showing the sludge, and it was pretty gross. He like stuck his hand in the sludge. It was disgusting. I don't even know why he did it. But it was good entertainment, and I guarantee you he gets a lot of business from that because he has a big following. So I think it's just, especially if you have an interesting crew too, and you have a lot of interesting stories. You're going on site, you're meeting all these people. I'm sure some interesting things happen, and you can just share that. You can just talk about it, and as long as you're a good storyteller, you have a good camera presence, presence, like it'll probably work.
Yeah, I think anybody that owns a business and they're actively getting clients and doing stuff, like you could create awesome, entertaining content. Like I think that's for sure. Like you might have to get a little creative, but even just documenting and stuff is, as long as you know what you're doing a little bit, you could create some cool content because there's stuff happening in businesses. Now, I think the problem with the example that you just shared is how does that actually grow his business and not just grow an online following? You know, like, okay, I get it. Like you can create content, start getting AdSense, start getting sponsors, but is that going to get him more clients if people in the Philippines or in India or China or wherever are watching his videos, right? And loving them, but they don't live around here. So do you have anything to say to that? Like, is there a way for him to grow his business, like the actual business, not like an online business?
So if you get a big enough following, then I don't think that would be an issue. Actually, another client I had is the channel is called the Toe Bro, and he has a practice in, I believe it's Toronto. And he gets so many views. A lot of people come in just because they watch his videos. He's a podiatrist, and he helps people with whatever is wrong with their feet. And the videos are pretty interesting. It's kind of in the same vein as Dr. Pimple Popper. And like I edited videos for him, and a lot of the patients would be like, "Oh yeah, I saw you online," and I was like, "Oh my God, he lives near me. I should totally book an appointment to have him fix my really bad ingrown toenail or whatever." So I think if you get a big enough following, you should just expect that some people are going to happen to live in your area. And the nice thing, especially about something like that, being a podiatrist, you don't need that many clients. I mean, you do in a certain sense, but it's not like there's only so much time in the day. I don't know, you could see a maximum of 20 people a day or something. So that's like 100 people a week max total, like probably not even that many. That seems like a lot of people. So it doesn't take that much. With a business like that, and especially a construction business, it's kind of the same idea. There's only so much time in the week. So unless you just keep expanding your team. So you should just expect, if you get a big enough following, that some of the people watching will happen to see you. Especially, I believe the way YouTube's algorithm works, it actually promotes you locally more than worldwide. So for instance, if I'm posting from Oregon, it's going to promote me in Oregon more than any other state. I don't think this is like a huge influence, but YouTube does at least have it does in some small way prioritize local traffic.
Yeah, that makes sense. I don't see why it wouldn't. And there's a little bit of like a search engine optimization way to do this. I mean, if you're in Portland, Oregon, and you are a whatever doctor of some sort, you can title your videos, this kind of doctor in Portland, Oregon. And by including Portland, Oregon in your titles, like multiple times, you'll start ranking on Google. So when people go to Google or YouTube, people might even search YouTube for that, but definitely Google, they'll search for foot doctor in Portland, Oregon or something. And your video will pop up, they'll see like, hey, they'll watch your content. Then they go from that cold lead into a warm lead, and it gives you a good chance to get them into your office to see them. And there you go. Now you're, as long as those videos are ranking for that term, as long as there's some search volume there where people are actually searching, then people will continue to show up through that video, and it'll pay you for years. So I think that's cool. One other thing too is like, you will become an authority in the space. Like, especially like, that's the weird thing about the day we're living in right now is like, oh, he's got 1 million subscribers on YouTube for this blank. He must be the best ever. Like, and that happened to me with basketball training. Like I had the 200,000 YouTube subscriber, and I'm seeing like articles being written about me like as one of the top trainers in the world. And I'm like this 24-year-old kid that's trained like some 7th graders. And, I felt like I was pretty good, but it was just the fact that I had the clout that people were all of a sudden considering me one of the top trainers in the world. And I'm like, you guys don't even know that I'm just waking up at 5 a.m. with my wife and driving 10 minutes and recording these videos and putting them up. I don't know if I'm the greatest trainer in the world, but I definitely, people started flocking to me like locally, right? They saw me as an authority. Oh, 200, I'd put it on 200,000 subscribers, and I think that'll happen too in other industries too. If you are the plumbing expert, Roger Wakefield is the example I've given in the past. He's just so major now, but he's like, he's probably doesn't even do plumbing anymore. He's, making more money from the social media game. So there's that too, where if you do grow the following, you might not be able to send them to click a link and go sign up for your product, but you could start speaking at events in that industry. People will see you as an authority. And even if you're not that major, let's just say you have no subscribers and you're like, I want to create content. How can I make money for my business? Well, you just post those on your personal Facebook, on your personal Instagram, and people locally that follow you, that just know you from the basketball league you play in and they follow you, will start to see you as the authority because they're like, wow, this guy's creating content. They're going to get warmed up. They're going to think you know what you're talking about just through the content. So I think no matter what, you really can't lose as long as you're not like spending thousands and thousands of dollars. We're talking about whipping out your phone and busting out a video.
Right, exactly. And I think the big word here is trust. So your example of your own channel is people trusted you. Like they saw your channel. They liked how you were presenting things. Your watch time was obviously good enough. It was retaining people. It was causing your channel to grow. So you've established yourself as somebody who is good at explaining how to play basketball. I think with a lot of these things, people... like in order to get somebody to leave their house and go to your business, they have to trust you. They have to think that you are somebody that they actually want to interact with regularly. And that's surprisingly hard to do. If somebody's like, I kind of want to get a basketball coach, but I don't know. It seems scary. What if it seems like intimidating until there is a face and a name and somebody who they feel like they know. Then all of a sudden it's like, oh my God, I can book an appointment with Augie Johnston. Like it's kind of a big deal if they happen to live in your area and they can just book an appointment with Augie Johnston. It's you've established trust, and that is not to be understated. It seems very simple, but I think it's huge. It's arguably the most important factor.
Yeah, and you're displaying that you know what you're talking about. It's kind of, it's value. You're providing value. They see the value in it, and so they go and sign up. So, okay. I think we've covered enough strategies and just enough talk about, starting, creating content, maybe a YouTube channel. You can try this, you can try that. The last thing I want to talk about is where I think the instant value, or not the instant value, but the instant reward is for local businesses in online video. And that's with ads. Okay, I'm talking about Facebook video ads, YouTube video ads, Instagram video ads, where you can literally, let's just talk about a gym. I can literally drop a pin on Facebook ads and say, hey, show this ad to every single person that lives within 10 miles of my gym. And just every time they go on Facebook, just put it right there. Anytime they go on YouTube before they watch a video, just show this video to them. And you can do that. And you can go and you can record the video. Obviously, you're going to want to, pitch yourself a little bit, maybe deliver some value, like gain the trust, right, in the ad. And it works. So one example is I run a basketball camp every summer in my hometown here. And the only marketing I do is a Facebook ad. I run it for $10 a day. I run it for 60 days before the camp. So I spend $600, but the camp costs, about $150 to $200, depending on when you sign up. So I only need 3 people to sign up to break even off it. And I'll be walking around town. I live in a small town, about 25,000 people, and people will be like, oh, hey, I know you. I knew. I'm like, I just don't know. I don't recognize you. How do you know me? And in my head, and they're like, you're the basketball guy. I see you on Facebook all the time. I'm like, oh, yeah. Sorry about that. Sorry for being like, it's on there every time, man. Like, and a lot of people tell me that they see it a lot. And it's because I'm able to say, all right, 25,000 people in this town. I'm in your face every day for 60 days. And if you have a kid that wants to play basketball, sign on up. So there's that strategy too. And any thoughts on that?
I think that's a brilliant idea. Yeah, there's a lot to be said for having targeted ads. So I am curious about how you made these ads. So did you just film yourself talking to the camera? Was there like music and fancy text? Like what did these ads look like exactly?
Yeah, so I mean, we use them for VidChops all the time, and those are a little bit different than the basketball camp one. The basketball camp one is I had a videographer come out one year, and it was really it's not even really an ad. It was more of just like a promo video of me saying, "Hey, I just want to thank all the campers. I want to thank the parents. I want to thank the coaches. We had a great week of camp." And I'm just talking. We did we had 10 5-on-5 games. We had this, we had that, and then the editor just put a bunch of B-roll of the camp over it. And there's not even really a call to action to like, hey, click the link or anything like that, because at the time of making the video, I wasn't thinking that. But people do click the link, they go over to the website and they sign their kid up. And, we get 80 kids showing up to the camp, which is a good number for a camp. And a lot of them come from the ads. For VidChops, it's a little bit more like, it's just marketing. We talk about it here all the time, like, how to script a YouTube video. It all just comes back to marketing. You have your hook, right? So it's the same with an ad. You have your hook at the beginning. You have a little bit of value that you add, whether you're just explaining what the service is, like we do at VidChops, and then just a call to action at the end, like, hey, click the link and come get $200 off, or whatever kind of offer we have in the video. And yeah, those work well. It's one of those things where you can take a cold lead, somebody that's never heard of you. You can educate them on what you offer. You can educate them on the problem. You can educate them on the solution, and you can build a little bit of rapport. So by the time they click to your website, there's at least a little bit of trust and stuff built up there.
Mm-hmm. Makes sense to me.
Yeah. So if you do have a local business, I do challenge you to take out your phone and try to create an ad. Create a local ad. The cool thing about online marketing with ads and everything is you can literally set your budget to be like $5 a day, even lower. You could do like $3 a day and just let it run for a month, spend $100. You can have some sort of tracking to where, like, when they come into your store and purchase, just have them mention that they saw your ad on Facebook for 10% off, something like that. And test it out. It could be a game changer for your business. My buddy's parents here in my hometown own a fitness studio, a gym, a fitness club, I guess is what I want to call it. And I don't see their ads online. And I've always just been like, man, I really wish they would run ads online. I've always wanted to like reach out and be like, hey, I can help you with this. But just they have a marketing guy and they know what they're doing. They're very successful already. But yeah, any kind of local business, I think that's a no-brainer. Mm-hmm. To do. So, all right. As far as the local businesses and everything go, is there any other things that you want to add? Any other little ideas that have popped up into your head, or any other businesses that you'd want to talk about? Maybe could create a cool YouTube channel. Well, let me say this: maybe you're not a local business, and you have an online business. Then that's even more of a no-brainer. Like, you should be creating content, because you have a website that people can click the link to and head over and purchase. And for the local businesses, I think it's a little bit more of a learning curve, because, I don't have a website. Okay, well, first you got to get a website. Okay, your website's terrible. Okay, well, there's this thing called copywriting. There's marketing that you need to do here a little bit. And they finally get the website, and then, I'm not gonna lie, video is not all that easy to all of a sudden create great videos. But kind of the tip there, and one that I think you would agree with, is if you'll get better. Just start it, and your video 1 is going to suck, but your video 50 is going to be pretty good, and your video 200 is going to be extremely good. So I think there's really, as long as you're not spending money on it, there's really no way to lose. Yeah. Any other tips before we go ahead and close this out?
I think the biggest tip is just focus on making a really good ad. So especially with the Facebook Marketplace example, put a lot of time into 1 or 2 videos, because that's gonna ultimately what is gonna sell your business. If you're gonna put time into something, it should be that with marketing. The idea of kind of creating organic growth and getting a following, of just talking to the camera, you can do it. But I think a lot of people, they don't necessarily have a great camera presence. So if you can kind of spice things up, like, maybe you don't have the greatest camera presence, but with the right videographer and the right video editor, you can make things look really great and really showcase what you have to offer in a catchy way. So I think the paid advertising route is going to be the most useful to the most people, I think. Again, just because not everybody is meant to be in front of a camera and feels comfortable doing that.
Yeah, I agree. And, getting a 10-minute YouTube video up is quite an endeavor, especially if you're going to script it and all that kind of stuff. So definitely paid ads is the way.
Yeah, and just having regular content all the time, it's hard to come up with topics, and you probably are going to have to pay somebody to do it, which is going to get really expensive really fast. Whereas if you can just create 1 or 2 videos and just kind of let them go, you could run those same ads for years. It's just organic growth is great. It can totally happen, but you need some lightning in a bottle, so to speak.
Yeah, and if you're a local business and your goal is to start selling online, and I want to sell online, I want to make this thing big, we're doing fine locally, then okay, you can come up with a content marketing strategy where you do start a YouTube business and stuff. But if you're a local business that, you're like, oh, I want to, start creating videos like with no kind of strategy behind it, no kind of purpose, then you probably won't see the reward there. But if you do, plan it out, strategize, take the time to make really good videos, then there could be definitely some opportunity for you there. It's not a short-term play, it's a long-term play, but a very, very nice competitive advantage against all your local competitors if you are the authority with the most followers, driving people to a website to purchase from you. You'll win. It's just plain fact there. So, all right. Thank you guys for listening so much to today's episode. If you liked it, make sure you head over to iTunes and give us a 5-star review. We would appreciate that very much. This episode is brought to you by VidChops.com, which will help take the burden of video editing totally off your hands. So if you want help with your video editing, head over to VidChops.com. And with that said, we will see you guys in the next episode.